welcome back to the Jack and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glen.
He's my husband, Glen.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Yeah.
And just for the record, before y'all start assuming stuff, I am upset. But it's because it's Grey's Anatomy night. And it was a crossover with Station 19. So that's it. I've been crying. Now.
Let's get to Married at First Sight.
Because I know how y'all like to make assumptions. It's decision day. I think we were only surprised by two.
Yeah. I was now.
Two people and two of the couples I was surprised about.
I wasn't surprised by two people. I think I hit all the couples on point. Only one that surprised me was probably Johnny saying yes.
I mean, we might as well say it.
Yeah, Johnny saying yes, but that was the only one. I always thought he would say no, but that's the only surprise. But other than that, I think
he already said it.
I was spot on.
So we're gonna start with Bao and Johnny, even though they weren't first.
Yeah, let's start with them.
So Bao and Johnny, he said coming into it, he's not 100% decided walking in there. And so Bao came in bringing her A game. Like, she was ready to go.
Oh, Bao
looking beautiful in her red.
She came in with her red dress. She came in with her shoes.
Makeup
done, hair done.
Look at you with your makeup on.
Bao came in like she was just stunning. She came in like, wow, look at me. If I'm going to leave you, you're going to see me walk out and I'm going to be looking good doing it. So that's what she did.
Yeah, they asked what was the best moments. Bao says, we've had more highs than lows. The wedding was one of the best moments for her, and then their month anniversary. And Johnny said for him, which he's so lopsided, he said the unplanned day-to-day smaller things were the best moments for him, but he was wanting other stuff.
Johnny bounced back and forth. He wanted some small stuff. He wanted some big stuff. He wanted Bao to leave him alone. He wanted Bao to think this. Johnny was confused. I think during the whole relationship, Johnny really didn't know what he wanted. And that's just because every time you talk to Johnny or every time we listen to Johnny, it was something different. Bao could do no right. She could do nothing right.
And so that leads us to the question they had, what's the biggest challenge? And Bao said it was effectively communicating. So them communicating with each other effectively. And Johnny says, he said, I wouldn't have run. And he said, he said, normally in a relationship, like he said, at this point, I'd be out. And, I stuck with it. And Bao's like, no, not really.
Johnny was out when they got off the honeymoon. I mean, man, let's be honest. Johnny went home when they got back off the honeymoon. If Johnny wasn't contractually obligated, he would have bounced. He told Bao, well, at this point of the relationship, I would have been gone. So guess what? Johnny really wasn't committed to the relationship per se. I think he was committed to the contract. Johnny was there for Johnny.
And okay, so you stuck in the process. But you were there physically, but not mentally, not emotionally. You weren't there, No. So I'm with Bao. I'm not giving you no props for sticking in there because you didn't. I mean, you did hit and miss. Yeah, she said he's been running, and Bao said her thing was she felt like she lost her voice. She lost her voice at moments in every heated argument. And Johnny was like, what? You did what?
That we didn't see. I think Bao did go off, but I don't think we didn't see her go off. We always saw Bao pouting. We always saw Bao making a face. I think we saw Bao trying to keep face for the cameras. I do think she gave Johnny a piece of her mind, which is why Johnny was surprised that she said, what? Because none of that was caught on tape. And she did tell him how she felt. She didn't hold anything back, which probably is why she said she had a voice.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she felt like I didn't speak up like I could have. Like, she spoke up, but in a way that she wouldn't have. she probably would have been more cutthroat. I mean, we don't know. Again,
she might have been gone too, though. But I think Bao, I don't blame all of it on Johnny. I do blame some on Bao. There is a mix. Both of them are to blame in this relationship not working. Bao not being open and listening. Johnny just having a perfectionist view of what he wanted his wife to be like. Him being so nasty to Bao and all the conversations they had, the vowel talk that he mentioned to her, the shortness that he said things to her. I mean, he felt like she was just he can just dump on her and say whatever, and she has to take it. I don't know if that's a cultural thing or whatever, but he really just went in on Bao.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it sounded like that's not something she would have normally put up with. That's the way she kind of said it to me. That's the way I took what she said. But yeah, so she was like, she felt like she lost her voice at moments in every heated argument. And his thing was, he said, I don't feel like we ever got heated because I never yelled at her. And most of the time I was listening. It's heated because, like, when it's not going the way that each other think it should, you know, it gets heated like that, or you feel like you're not being heard, or what the other person is saying is like crap. I think that's what she meant.
He got heated. How many times we seen Johnny go in the bedroom and yell and scream and pout, or I'm going to stay at my apartment, I'm going to stay at my house tonight. And I mean, yeah, it got heated. It just didn't get to the heated where you get ready to put hands on each other, but it was heated.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I mean, and to the point where every time you talk to the experts or talk to other people that you have to put her down, that's still heated. Mm-hmm. You know, you didn't, and we talk about Johnny, he never did anything right. And she said it before. Bao said that Johnny was a playboy. There was a reason she didn't hook up with Johnny 15 years ago. It was a reason Johnny didn't hook up with her 15 years ago. They'd known each other for that long. And guess what? All that got exposed in this relationship or in this marriage, why they didn't connect 15 years ago.
Well, Johnny did share that the problem with Bao is when they had disagreements or arguments, is she was dead set on one person being wrong, and it was always him and him having to say, oh, my bad, it's my bad. They talked about Sarah a little bit. You know, he apologized. He talked to her. He said, you know, I was just in a bad place. I was distraught. You know, I felt like she's the one person I could talk to. And Bao was like, I mean, I felt down too. And what made it worse is you talked to Sarah, the one negative person in my village. That's who you chose to talk to. And he said, you know what? The one thing I would do different is I would have spoken to you first before I talked to Sarah. But
he should have. But again, I think we saw on Unfiltered, he said that he had the longer relationship with Sarah. That him and Sarah had been friends way before her and Bao had been friends. Now, was he wrong for talking to Sarah about his wife? Definitely. But I understand the friendship that they had in that relationship that him and Sarah had. Sarah should have just been in the middle. Like, hey, look, you need to talk to your wife. She should have advised them to talk to the experts and not her. Let me stay out of this, because I know how Bao is. Sarah messed up by giving Johnny the information about all about exes and how she allegedly was the Black Widow and destroyed her relationships. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's where Sarah messed up at. And Johnny pulled a Zach from a couple seasons ago and wanted to hang out with the homie.
Yeah. Dr. Pepper pointed out that it seems like, I think it was Dr. Pepper, it seems like y'all brought the same problems that you've had in dating into your marriage. And we've said that throughout the season, that's not the point of Married at First Sight. If you could do it on your own, and if the way you did it was right, you wouldn't be on Married at First Sight. So you really should be trying to do something different. You should be cognizant of, you know, mess ups before and try not to do that. But anyway, so Bao said she thought she was sure coming into decision day, and she said no. Even though Johnny had said yes. Because Johnny said yes. He said, let's see what happens when the cameras are gone, when the lights are gone, and we get some counseling or whatever. And Bao's like, no.
Johnny's smoking some of that good stuff. How can you really expect her to say yes? Y'all on this retreat. Let's go back to the retreat. you intentionally went on a retreat and said it will be a great retreat if I don't spend time or talk to Bao. Right? I don't want to talk to Bao. I don't want to spend any time with her. When you came back, you didn't want to interact with her. Even at y'all dinner per se, you didn't want to deal with her, interact with her. That kind of forced you to go see where she lived at, and you had a little touchy feel-good moment because she was touchy feel-good moment. But you wasn't interacting. How do you come to a yes unless you're trying to make yourself look good, or unless you really think she's boo-boo the fool?
Right.
How do you honestly say yes, I want to stay married to her, when the last 3 or 4 weeks of your relationship, you have not been doing anything to make her say yes?
Yeah.
You think she's going to say yes just because you're Johnny? To me, in his mind, it didn't even make sense. It's like, how do you rationalize and say yes when you know everything you was doing is totally opposite of getting a yes answer? Mm-hmm. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and so like I said, she said no. She said, because she hasn't seen any commitment from him. She hasn't gotten any support from him. And she's been so unhappy. She was like, I can't trust that it's going to change. I can't trust that it's going to change. And it's just too little too late for me. I can't. He
hadn't given her any glimmer of hope, any signs or anything to say, you know what, I've changed my behavior. And I'm also certain when we get to the reunion or get to the part, if they hope they ask, he probably hadn't even talked to her up to that point.
Probably.
They probably hadn't had any discussions, hadn't conversed, didn't do anything up until that point, and they're going into that day blind.
Yeah. His thing was, he felt like, what's the harm in trying? It's nothing wrong.
You didn't.
He said, I want to try. I want to actually try this time.
But you had 8 weeks to try. And you had 8 weeks to try. It's like the little kid who got caught. Oh man, and I want to do it all over again. Totally, man. Johnny.
Yeah, he's like, why didn't she give it a shot? I mean, he looked totally defeated. And they had to reassure him, there's nothing wrong with what you said. That's how you felt. But she just didn't go with it, and it makes sense.
He thought the lie he told himself in the mirror was going to work. He really did. He thought the lie he told himself, if I say yes, she's going to say yes because she's weak-minded. He really thought she was weak-minded and that she really wanted to be married. And I think he tried to play on the fact that she talked about her parents being married for 50 years and going through all that they went through and not getting a divorce. He thought that Bao would be that way and put up with all his mess. And she was like, I'm not having it.
I think my sister said it best. Bao did to Johnny like Johnny's mama did his daddy.
Yeah.
No thank you. No thank you.
No thank you. Deuces, dog. Deuces.
You feeling it now, but I'm not. No thank you.
We move on. And which we know later on Bao did move on. But that's a whole different video.
Alright, so then let's go back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. To Mirla and Gil.
Yeah, Mirla and Gil.
Alright, so they made a comment that, they have goals and values that are very much alike. They just have different ideas about finances. Gil coming in, he said he feels good and he feels confident. Mirla says she feels confident just like she did on the wedding day. As they sit down and talk to the experts. And I'm going to point this out. Like, they both look nice. Mirla brought it. Had her, she had that dress on, her red bottom boots. She came to slay. But for somebody that doesn't really wear makeup, like, man, I heard they was giving Mirla the blues about all that eye makeup she had on. It was heavy. It was a lot. But
it was production that did that. She didn't do it herself. But anyway, she did slay.
Yes.
Her outfit looked stunning.
No, I'm pretty sure she didn't let them do that. Not like that. I hope not. As much as she fussed on a wedding day, which she pointed out, she was like, the wedding, it was terrible for me though. She said, I never really wanted a wedding. I guess, I don't know if in Married at First Sight process or she's saying like she don't want a wedding. But she said it was terrible. It's too much. She didn't like anything. She doesn't like meeting and new people, but she felt like it was worth the sacrifice. They were like, you don't like meeting new people, but you're married at first sight. This person's gonna be new.
Look, why do you get on the show? Like, why did you? I mean, to me, it made it seem like she didn't know anything about the show. She just signed up for it. Somebody reached out to her, and she was like, "Let's do it." But this is what I want to say about her. People, people giving her a hard time about complaining about that. And we've heard other contestants. I don't want to say contestants. Other participants or other people on the show say when they actually get married, it's a big production. It is a lot. Mm-hmm. You got to meet here. You got to meet there. I think it was Christina who didn't want to do all the other production stuff. This video here, that before you actually even get to your wedding, and then you really don't have a say so. Let's think about it. Those brides who are watching us now. What if you just showed up at your wedding, and the stuff that you didn't ask for any of? The only thing that you really picked out was the dress, but everything else was picked out by somebody else who may not like what you like. Mm-hmm. So when you have somebody who's kind of in control of their environment or their space, and she goes to go to this wedding, I can see why. She thought it was terrible because she had no say so except for the dress, and even that probably had a price limit on it.
Yeah.
So she got married and not had a say so. But she should have known what she was getting into.
Yeah. But Gil always the opposite. He was like, I had fun. I enjoyed it.
Again, Gil would have fun in the middle of the desert with just himself.
Yeah. The expert's like, okay, so how have you seen yourself grow over the process? And, Mirla's like, I wanted to take it slow. It didn't take too much for her to be affectionate. She said she went from 0 to 100. He was like, no. You went from 0 to 45. She was like, what? What? And he said, then you did go fast from 45 to 100. But 0 to 45, it took you a long time, like day 1, day 2, day 3, like week 1, week 2, week
0.
3, you was 0, 0, 0. Then you hit 45, and then you went 45, pum, to 100.
She's like an old car where she had to get warmed up. And once you hit the gas, she was good to go. Mm-hmm. She was good to go. I think she always liked Gil, but she didn't want, as she mentioned, I think sometimes we forget it, past episodes, she didn't want to be hurt. Mm-hmm. She said she'd been cheated on before. She didn't want to put all of it into it and he not be the right guy. So she wanted to make sure that he was the right guy. I think if we watched the process of her throughout the episodes, how you saw the walls come down. We even talk about hype, how the wall came down with hype, how the walls came down with Gil, even to her the cookie situation and him baking them cookies and being a homebody and doing things at home. Her walls came down throughout the process where that 0 speed did get up to 45, 50. Her not kissing him to them kissing and eventually consummating the marriage. So we see that all together.
Can you let me say that? You done ruined 2 things already. You said already that Johnny said yes before we even talked about it. And then you just let that cat out the bag because Dr. Pepper was like, okay, so if we're going from 45 to 100, have we progressed all the way through the intimacy spectrum, the sexuality, the sexual spectrum? And Gil's like, yeah, we actually consummated the marriage 2 weeks ago. And then, I was mad. He told the couples that later on. I was like, Gil, stop telling everybody our business. But
she tried to give him a high five. She did give him a high five with the couple thing when he told. But she tried to lie with the experts. She didn't want anybody to know that she had given Gil the cookies.
Right. That's what I'm
Why
like.
not? Y'all grown. You're adults.
So what that mean?
Did you consummate your marriage? Yes or no?
That don't mean that they didn't ask. That's not what they asked.
What did Dr. Pepper
ask? He said, have you progressed through the spectrum?
We can read. We all adults. Read between the lines. Yes, have you progressed through the spectrum? The spectrum is that you have. Like,
we may have.
Oh, so you try to get Ryan and Claire, huh? Want to lie about it?
We may have. Not no lie. We may have. Anyway, so they noticed that she didn't have her wedding ring on. She was like, yeah, no, I don't have that ugly thing on. I don't like that wedding ring. I would have never picked that out. I would have never received that from somebody. Like, no, I don't have that on. I was like, dang, Mirla, which brought up the fact the negative Nancy her
that made me
versus his optimism.
That made me laugh because I'm gonna tell you why it made me laugh. Because when you dealing with her, she's really one that you have to go take and pick out the engagement. I'm gonna ask you to marry me. Is this the ring you want? Mm-hmm. Because your feelings will get hurt if you pick out a ring, spend the money, and she's like, I don't like it.
Man, it's so hard to deal with people like that. That's so hard.
If you love her, you're gonna have to deal. He gonna have to deal with her,
that's so hard to do. But
it's hard to do.
You know, and you know the thing she said about the negative Nancy thing is it's not something she didn't know about, so she really didn't take it hard. She knows it's something she had to work on.
Right.
And he was like, you know, your negativity, it brings me down. I don't like it when it makes me negative, which we heard him say before. And then the thing about finances, like all the talk about finances that worries her. You know, Gil points out again, she's money driven and he's not. You know, she's trying to get to her millionaire status, and he was like, for me, $1,000 there, a couple $100,000 there is fine with me.
But again, it goes back. If you're married, you're together. If she gets a millionaire status, guess what? You're a millionaire as well because you're two at one. Y'all connected together. It's not that I don't think he doesn't like nice things or finer things in life. It's just not his main focus.
Well, that's the point they made.
But if he gets those things, it's fine. But she is focused on getting those things, which is nothing wrong. When you have humble beginnings and you are able to obtain and you work hard, go ahead and enjoy it and play hard. But again, it's not like she's frivolous with her money. It's not like she's just throwing it out the window, woo, and just letting it. She's meticulous and she's making a lot. She's saving a lot. She's spending a lot. There's nothing wrong with having a nice lifestyle if you can afford it. And she can afford the nice lifestyle, and he should just hop on board and help enjoy it with her. And just the two become better. It's just I don't see the problem.
I don't want to get into that too much, because I think that's the issue. It sounds like it'll be a lot of his and hers, and like he expressed to his mother, you know, she's traditional. She expects the man to pay all the bills, and I can do that, but then I won't have anything left. And a man will feel some type of way if you got to give your husband a stipend. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't sound like they was going to put it all together, because then why would you say that the man would be responsible for the bills? You know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't have said it that I wouldn't have any money left.
Yeah, but I don't think she said it like that, though. I mean, we never see this. We never seen her say it.
I don't think he would have told his mother that if that wasn't the case.
But that's probably his expectation. They might have had a conversation. That's what he assumed, that he's supposed to pay for everything. But if he can't afford everything, then she's going to obviously pitch in if she want to maintain the same lifestyle.
Yeah, so Dr. Viv said her thing was, their thing with, as the experts, they thought that the money thing wouldn't be such a big issue, that they would choose commitment, love, happiness, and values, those good things over finances. And she's like, were we wrong? And Mirla was like, yeah, you was wrong.
Yeah, you was wrong.
She says he doesn't like the finer things in life at all. He don't. And Gil's like, yes, I do. I have Prada shoes. I have Gucci shoes or whatever. I just don't feel the need to buy that all the time. And, you know, he said he would choose to live in a box. He was like, no, I wouldn't, but I don't have to be in a high rise with a concierge, and I just don't have to do that. He says, you know, I want a nice home, and I want the wife and children. I do. I don't want to live as a pauper, but I just don't see the need to make money my focus.
And she said, if I can afford it, why not have it? So if I can afford a concierge, why not get one? If I can, and he was like, well, I'm my own concierge, my own trash man, and do all that. You know, there's nothing wrong if you can afford a maid. How many women would like to have a maid? Is that a status of having? If you can afford a maid, you get a maid. You know, that's what she can afford. Some people can afford a nanny. Get a nanny. You know, if you can afford it, provide for it. You know.
But I guess Gil's thing is, okay, yeah, you can afford it, but take care of your own kids. I guess that's his mindset. Just because you can't afford it doesn't mean you could get it. Some things, I guess he's thinking, you know, if you can do it, then do it.
Right. Like, he doesn't think, let's be Mirla, just based on what we saw on the show, that she's not going to get a nanny, or she's not going to put the kids in daycare or provide for them. You know what I'm saying? That way. Because let's be honest, daycare is expensive. Mm-hmm. It costs you an arm.
A nanny costs a whole lot more.
A nanny costs how much more. But I'm saying, so I guess when you get to that point, you have to put in perspective where you're spending your money, and you have to put in perspective, if I can find somebody to do it for me, let's do it. There's some guys who can cut their grass perfectly fine, but there's a lawnmower service that comes every month to cut his grass. You see what I'm saying? Because, again, I can afford a lawnmower service, so they give me more time back to spend with my wife or spend with my kids. So I think, you got to look at the value and look at the time frame of it.
Yeah, that's a whole nother something.
But I cut my grass. I don't have a lawnmower service. I just wanted to throw that out there. I enjoy cutting grass.
In the end, Mirla says I've enjoyed being with him every day. I'm happy, seeing that he's the first person that I see every day, the first person I talk to, and so she wanted to stay married. And Gil also wanted to stay married. He says, I'm in love with her.
Yeah.
Despite the money thing, I'm in love with her. Despite the negativity, I'm in love with her. I love her passion for things, and he said he wanted to stay married, and I'm so happy because I expected them to stay married.
Yeah, but he went around about a long way to get to that. I want to say yes. And maybe that's editing the way they put it together, but he went all the way around the barn before he said yes. So, Gil said yes, Mirla said yes. We'll see how long the yes is, but right now on decision day, they both said yes.
They said yes. They said yes. Okay, next, Brett and Ryan.
Yeah.
Brett, she looked nice. Everybody, when she walked in, it was like, oh snap! Yeah, look at you.
She cleaned up pretty well.
She always looked pretty to me.
She was always pretty.
I would love to see the kind of women that he likes.
Don't worry, you will. His Instagram will be open up soon enough.
And so Ryan came. Ryan he just looked regular to me.
He still looks stressed.
He did. But I'm talking about his clothes. Like, he looked regular. Like, I think he should have came in a suit. He had a suit, a sport coat on with some slacks. I would have.
He was. Look, he was stressed. He let this get. Come on. They already knew the answer coming in, but let's get this thing over with in his mind.
All right. The best part, they got the question too. What was the best part of everything? And Ryan says, I like our conversations. I like her competitiveness. I like the banter we have back and forth. We're both, pretty quick with it. She's friendly and she's awesome. That was the best part to me. Brett said, he is caring and he's giving, and we do have a good time together. We like listening to music together. We have a good time together. It just, basically both of them said it's friendly.
They're in the friend zone. They've been in the friend zone. They've been in the friend zone since day one.
Dr. Pepper was like, bump that. What's up with this dating app, bruh? Why did you download the dating app before the marriage is over? That doesn't sound like something respectful a good guy would do. How could you do that? And he was like, looking like a deer in headlights.
Can we be honest? I know everybody's giving him a hard time about downloading this dating app, right? Mm-hmm. The marriage was over.
No. That was when he said he was going to try.
That's what his lips said.
He was going to do different.
That's what his lips said.
But exactly, that's the point.
His heart and his mind, he was already done. And the truth be told, she was already done as well. She was already packing her boxes up. She was ready to go home. She was done. They had both checked out, and they were just going through the motions at this point. And he figured, you know what, let me go ahead and get a head start and give me the jump on this thing, because we're done. He knew they were done. She knew they were done. They knew they were done at the retreat. It doesn't, I know technically they still married, but even after decision day, aren't they technically still married? So if he would have downloaded that app after decision day,
but at least it would be official at that point. It would be official at that point. And Faith City, yes, we have.
Yes.
Yeah,
we know. We're gonna get to
nah. Ryan says, I'm forever apologetic. I'm sorry she got the message from her friend. And the question was like, why? Why? What happened? Why'd you do the dating app? And he says, we had an initial connection, but it got lost along the way. I definitely do have a type. And Dr. P said, well, is your type? Is it your type that's the issue? For real? Or are you using that as an out? I feel like you're using that as an out. That's just an excuse. Like, we all have a type. You know what I'm saying? But like Dr. Pepper basically saying, has going for that type worked out for you? I think his sister said it. You have a type, but it's the ladies you picking is shallow. There's no depth to the relationship. You can't get deep with them. You know, how's that worked out for you?
It hasn't. That's why he's on the show.
Exactly.
But he wasn't willing to try to do anything different because she didn't look the part. And again, he didn't feel the butterflies in his stomach, the sparks, the whatever else it was that he didn't feel. And he wanted to feel that. And because he didn't feel that, he never really gave Brett a chance.
Yeah, he said the whole time he was fighting his lack of feelings and at the same time trying to take hers into consideration by not saying that. And Brett's thing was, okay, the thing about feelings is, in this situation, with it being married at first sight, you have to create that. That's why I said it would have been good if they asked them to do the same thing they had Jake and Haley do. Okay, try sitting there holding hands. Try first thing in the morning, you know, a kiss in the morning, a kiss before you go to bed, a hug or whatever. They should have gave them some exercises to try to put that stuff into place. Like, because I think, gosh, you can't get any worse to me than as far as disdain and dislike for each other. Like, Jake and Haley was like the worst.
I don't think Ryan had disdain for Brett. I think he
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they're not as bad as Jake and Haley. And they suggested that with Jake and Haley, but they didn't suggest that with Brett and Ryan. I'm like, I feel like the experts missed the mark there.
She couldn't get him out of shell, and I think she tried, and that's one of the things she said. She said she would have been more vocal of calling him out and getting this stuff involved. And I think it's hard sometimes when that's not your personality, when you're trying to get to know this person over 8 weeks, your husband or your wife, and you don't want to come off nagging.
Mm-hmm.
But you do want to get to know them and understand, like, this is what I need from you. You know, did he try? I don't know. I guess the only thing he tried at was the little note, the poem thing, or the scavenger hunt thing that he put around the house. You know, I guess that's what he called trying.
And Pastor Cal was like, you know, with all of that, what could she have done that could have made a difference? What could she have done?
He could answer.
It was
that
like,
question.
then yeah, no. Brett says, you know, I just don't think he was ready to be married. I think, you know, he thought he wasn't ready to be married. And they asked, what would you do different? Ryan said, I would have verbalized the things about the harder topics. I would have been more verbal when it came to that. And, you know, I would have spoken up sooner. I think Brett said that, you know, spoken up sooner. You know, like, give it to me straight. Like, what's really going on? And Brett was like, you know, we never really got on the same page. You know, when it came to decision time, it was like, you know, I think we could be really good friends, but we just couldn't get on the same page. So since that's the case, I'm saying no.
You know,
I want to get a divorce.
You know what I thought about? Thought about this. Remember at the beginning, Ryan, like, he's a very touchy-feely, intimate. He wants to get the goodies. And I think when Brett never gave him that initially, that's why he didn't feel any butterflies, because he wasn't going to get any goodies or cookies or whatever else you want to call it.
Well, good thing.
But yeah, good thing. But I'm saying, because that's the type of person he's used to having. That's the type of person he's used to being with, where he got the goods real quick. And so when she said, no, we're not going to do that, we're going to get to know each other, that's when he felt some type of way, because he couldn't get what he was used to. And that's why he didn't feel butterflies.
And Ryan's response to Brett's no was, he's like, yeah, I agree with you. We need to get a divorce. Plain.
So plain. I mean, they could have put that couple on first, and everybody knew the answer to that one.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knew that they were going to get a divorce. There was no way in a world that either one of them was going to say yes. Mm-hmm. No way.
And Dr. Pepper just reinforced with them, you know, that you're not a failure. You know, in this situation, it just didn't work out. It doesn't make you a failure. And Brett said in her vignette, you know, the road for her to the decision, it wasn't easy. And she beat herself up about it quite a bit. But, you know, about not being successful and failing. So Dr. Pepper was right on point, you know, by saying that to them. So.
I mean, I think when you go on the show, you want your marriage to work out. You want to be able to, after 8 weeks or whoever the experts match you up with, you want them to be the love of your life. And you hope that you get a partner who's willing to work on it and willing to go through it with you. And she never got a partner who did that. Mm-hmm. She never got a partner who was willing to work. He was already done. So
a hot mess. Yeah. A hot mess.
And it's I mean, his sister said it anyway. His sister let everybody know who he was. That he was distracted.
Mm-hmm. So from there, let's go to the next obvious one. That we knew Brett and Ryan were gonna say no, and so we knew what this couple would say too. I would have been shocked if they said anything else.
Rachel and Jose.
Yes.
Jose.
Yeah. So they get the question, "How's it been?" Jose says it's been a whirlwind. It was quick, and we have had some ups and downs, but we got so many commonalities, which we heard them say over and over again. We have so much in common. We're so much alike. Rachel said, in the beginning it was so perfect, and then we had that big argument, and things kind of changed from there. She had some things to take into consideration.
Her guard was up. She had to put a wall up.
Yeah, she said it was the deadbolt for her. I think Dr. Pepper had pointed out too, like, bro, or Dr. Ville, you put the deadbolt on your wife.
Look, I still don't care what Jose said. Jose put that deadbolt on purpose. Jose locked that young lady out on purpose. Jose was upset. He told her to get her effing bags, get out now. He did not care. He was irate. And he was irate at something that was just meaningless. She said Johnny. Not like Bob, somebody on the show. He was irate and he put her out. Yeah, it was a deadbolt. And I hope he just admit sooner or later that I put you out on purpose.
He'll never.
He should.
He will never. He'll never. He won't do it. He won't do it.
Jose, man, he locked her out on purpose, and that's why she ran to her ex-boyfriend.
And Rachel said the thing for her was the way he argued, it was so scary to her. It scared her. And, it was like, it was a character flaw. And at that point, like, she really was like, I'm done. But they said the beauty of it is that we discussed it, we dealt with it, and put it to rest. I think Jose said that,
It's not put to rest.
Till he shows his tail again.
It's not put to rest. It's never been fixed. I mean, let's be honest. That situation has never been fixed. His anger problem has never been fixed. It's laying dormant until the next situation. He didn't get any counseling about it. He didn't talk about it. He stuck little sticky notes on the refrigerator about it. That problem has not been fixed. He's still upset. And I think when she even told him about the boyfriend situation, he realized, I'm on camera. Let me not have another blow up, because if I have another blow up, America's going to really eat my lunch. So let me be here and sit here like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. It's okay. I do trust you. He was steaming on the inside. Can't nobody tell me that just he recovered that much in a few weeks, that when she said I stayed at my boyfriend's house, that he didn't blow up. He blew up because of Johnny's name. You telling me that he had gotten miraculous counseling and healing that he didn't? Man, come on, no, that's no.
Oh no. I think it was absolutely hard for him, but he did put the effort in. I think it was absolutely like he wanted to be like, but he knew he couldn't.
Yeah, he put the effort in.
Because then she'd be gone for real this time. But they talked about, that trust has been an issue, and Dr. Pepper said, do you truly, fully trust your wife? He was like, it's tough, he's concerned that when the stuff hits the fan, that she's gonna bounce, so and cheating is a issue for him. It's a very big concern for him. So
where did he get that from, that she's gonna bounce? She never seemed like she was a runner.
Well, she kind of said that. When she talked about summer Rachel, and if you get me where I can't do my trips or whatever, you're gonna see a different side of me. So. But
it didn't mean she was gonna run. But I mean,
she did. Granted, he did tell her, get your stuff and leave.
Right. I'm not gonna be no place where I'm not wanted.
Right.
And so if he calls that running, he created that environment.
Exactly.
You know, she stayed with a dude that cheated on her for a minute before they actually skedaddled when she left. Or she cheated on him. I mean, so it's
I don't know.
I didn't see her being a running type.
Yeah, and she said, you know, it's different when you're with someone you really want to be with. When you want to be with somebody, you tough it out. You try to work it out. So she was like, you know, basically was like, don't let that be your major concern, because that's not the case. But anyway, in the end, Rachel said, you know, we've been through a lot. It seemed so perfect, but we found out it wasn't. You know, we worked on it, and we can continue to work on it. And so she opted. She said, well, I'm going to stay married. And so Jose said, I want to stay married too. Yeah,
they both going to say stay married. Again, I know they may never do this. I need people to be in a different room.
Oh, yeah.
I need them to be in separate places, to come out there like the old newlywed game with us written on a card or what they want to do. Because I think, I don't know. That's the new Virginia and Eric for me. Jose and Rachel, Virginia and Eric. I think, please don't put them on couple cam, because I don't think they're going to last.
Oh, yeah. No. Side note, I hope they really learned their lesson with that. The sketchy ones, don't put them on couples cam.
Yeah, I don't think Jose and Rachel.
It's sketchy. Honestly, I mean, I like Brianna and Vincent on there. I like Karen and Miles, and I like Amani and Woody. But I would say for couples cam, I wouldn't put any couples on there immediately after their season.
No.
I wouldn't do that.
I let them wait. Wait it out. See if it lasts.
Yep.
Don't get burned.
All right, last but not least, Michaela and Zach.
Train wreck.
And this is the other one too. So first couple, Bao and Johnny. We figured both of them would say no. Johnny said yes, which was surprising. And in this case, we got another one that I thought they would just say no straight up. And
nope.
I
got this one right.
So they asked Michaela, you know, how you feel. You know, she said, I feel relieved at this point to be at decision day. And he says, you know, I feel really good. What's her version of the marriage? She said, I feel like it's been a big learning lesson. We've had some beautiful and some crazy moments. But she said she was happy all of it happened. And the question posed to Zach, you know, and he pulls out a sheet of paper. And Dr. Pepper's like, hold on. Is this your decision? Did you get ready to give us all this piece of paper? Or is this the answer to, you know, what were the good times? Oh, yeah. This is a piece of paper where I kind of, you know, wrote down the good things that happened. No, in the end, to me, when he read it, that's what you was going to say to go with your decision. Stop it. Stop.
Zach be lying, y'all.
Stop. He says the good times with him, you know, with her, he feels like Michaela's made him a better man, and today is the beginning of something new. It was all worth it. Thank you for loving me. And he says, you know, I love her too.
Told you he'd be lying.
Michaela says it's been a journey, and to hear him say that, you know, all those things that he said, she said it means a lot to her, which I'm sure it did. Because a lot of it was like, you know, we're fundamentally different, and he talked to her like she couldn't change, like she couldn't do anything different. So for her to hear that bull, she said it meant a lot to her.
I'm not gonna say all of it was bull. I think he really believes that in his mind, that he probably does really love her.
I'm not saying that.
Based off his answer that he gives later on, and the answer that he was given at the retreat and all that, he just wanted to do it his way. He wanted to do it his way and see, because the other way didn't work. But his way doesn't make any sense, because it just didn't make any sense. So with this whole letter that he's doing, it sounded good in his head. But when he read it and put it on paper, it came off like, come on, Zach, get yourself together, bro. Get yourself together.
Michaela said it shows her that, you know, what she already knows about him, that he's a person that really cares, that he's got emotions and thoughts and feelings, and he may not be able to express them in the immediate time, but it's in there and he can get it out. Zach says, I'm just happy and thankful, you know, and he starts crying, and I'm like, what you crying about now?
Hey, bro got emotional the whole season.
What you crying about now? He was like, I just thought back to the first time when, you know, I came in the room with you all, and And I just, I'm so happy to walk in that room and to have the opportunity to meet someone like her. And, outside of my mom, she's the most amazing woman that I know. And, just to have this opportunity, I just, thank y'all. I feel so favored. I feel so blessed. I feel so, that God would bestow this, that you all would bestow this upon me, this Oscar, I mean.
he was setting her up for the okie doke, y'all. Setting her up for the he set her up for the okie. When he started doing all that, I was like, you know what? It's done. I know where I'm going at. I know. It was over. It was over.
And so Dr. Viv was like, for you to be saying all that, it looks very different compared to what the journey looked like. And, yeah. He was like, for him, actions speak louder than words. So, that she still loves him after all of that. It's like, wow. I know it doesn't make sense that I would say this considering I got so upset about the other thing, but, I really mean this. And I so appreciate this award that y'all finna give me tonight.
And the Grammy goes to Zach.
It's an Oscar.
Well, he's a musician as well. He sung a song. So what he wrote was a love ballad. He gets the ballad and the Oscar, the Grammy and Oscar.
So Michaela says, that they did put into practice, the talking and the listening and, working on her knee-jerk reaction, and she realized it wasn't okay, and she regrets not working, she regrets that, and she's working hard on, she was basically like, I knew it before, but I know even more so. The Hurricane Kate thing, this flipping off is not cute, it's not cool, and, I'm working hard on it, and this really showed me again that I need to work on it.
I think we really did see her grow up.
Oh, yeah.
I think she grew up throughout the episode. She grew up. I mean, think about what this young lady had to go through. Not making excuses for her behavior or anything like that, because her behavior is totally wrong. But look what she had to go through. She got married. Husband catch COVID. She had to fly back to the States by herself. He had to stay at the honeymoon spot, COVID. She didn't know he was coming back. They had to get back together. She has abandonment issues, so she was kind of abandoned on her honeymoon. Get home, have an issue, miscommunication. She feel like she's abandoned again. He stays away at the apartment. Again, according to some, they only came back to the apartment for filming. So there was abandonment there. She's married and they're not living together. They're not conversing like they're supposed to. They only see each other during production time. And so when you get to that point where she's frustrated, she's upset, she's mad, she wants a husband, but don't know how to handle a husband. She wants him to kind of conform to what she wants him to conform to, and it's not working.
Mm-hmm. It's a mess.
It's a mess, and so it's not working. But in a regular relationship, she probably would cut him off.
Mm-hmm.
But because was married and I want to be married, they're gonna stick to it.
And so in the end, Michaela was like, I want to stay married. I want to see what the future looks like. I want to stay married. Zach says, I want to get a divorce. And they're like, okay. He said, but it's not a bad thing. What I want to divorce the last 8 weeks that we experienced. I want to divorce the last 8 weeks, and I don't know what we're gonna do, but I want to divorce the last 8 weeks. Which, you know what? When I was sitting there, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So to him, by him saying I want to get a divorce, is like I'm closing the chapter on that. Like I'm gonna act like that didn't happen. I want to start completely afresh, and so that's why he's saying I want to get a divorce. But it don't work like that, honey.
He be smoking that stuff Ricky Williams be smoking. That dude, come on, that don't even make sense. I want to get a divorce, but I still want to date you. He had been, look, the only thing I give Zach credit for, he has been saying the same thing for the last several weeks. Mm-hmm. He's been saying the last several things from when she went off at the ranch. I want a divorce, but I still want us to date. And if you ask for the divorce on decision day, Donald, you're still technically married. The decision day doesn't finalize your divorce. So guess what? You said no to, as she put it out and Bao put it out, you saying no to me into this relationship. You said no to this marriage. So that means you don't want any of this. When you say no on decision day. Not I'm saying yes, well, the cameras are gone, this, that, another. No. You're saying no. And I don't think he gets that. He's a very intelligent guy, but I don't think he gets that.
But that's what they said to him. Pastor Cal was like, you know what, I don't think you're communicating this in the right way or in a way that's palatable for her. And I feel like you're putting a nail in the coffin more so, buddy, than anything else. And, you know, he's like, yeah, I don't understand. That's like mind-boggling to me. And Pastor Cal was like, I don't know why it's mind-boggling to you. You know, all your wife wants to know is if you want to be married to her. After today, understanding, we know you want to separate from the past. You want to get past from what happened. But going forward, do you want to be married to this woman? This is what she wants to know. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is, do you want to be married to her, yes or no? And that's, I mean, he went all around the, he went around the barn. Yeah, Michaela's like, it says it's yes or no. And he says, well, no. Because, you know, that means to him that he's not divorcing the past. He's not rejecting her, and he's not going to change his actions toward her. He still just wants to see where this goes. That sounded right in his mind when he said it. When he came up with this idea, he didn't ask anybody about that. He didn't consult with anybody. He didn't consult with his friend, his mama, his daddy. At least ask somebody. Because that sound, you know what, that sound perfect in his head. But it didn't come out right. He says, you know, I have to, none of that's changing. None of that's changing, but I have to say that I want a divorce. And she said that doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't give me encouragement for, you know, what we can do after the fact. Like, no. And he says, you know what, I'm gonna be honest, I'm being a little bit selfish here, and it's this, I'm doing this more for me to feel better mentally. Zach, shut up. Yeah. What? So, again, what he's saying is, I want to divorce the past. I want to act like I want to act like I got amnesia for the past 8 weeks. I want to wake up from the coma and act like none of this happened. And so that's how I have to think about it mentally. I have to act like I never knew you. Yeah. I never saw that. Anyway, Pastor Cal said, look, I hope you're going to understand the impact of what you're saying. By saying no, what the impact is. And, you know, and a yes, that no and that yes. So a no but and then a yes but are different. Because a no is a no. Regardless. Even though you want to try to put the but on there, you already said no. It's different when you say, yes, I want to stay married, but let's try something different. But you got to realize too, the no means I don't want you to be married to you. I don't want you. I don't need you in my life. I don't want you to be in a relationship. I don't want nothing to do with you. When you tell somebody no, that's what it means. I don't want nothing to do with you. Go our separate ways. That's what a no means. And he cannot accept that. In his mind, a no means, guess what, Zach? The show's ending. Cameras are going away. Say yes. Work on it. See, work on it like Johnny understood it. I'm going to say yes, even though I really mean no. But let's try to work on it without the cameras. And she said basically in the end, you know, when I get up and walk out of here, you know, she walks out knowing that I wanted to fight for the marriage. And in the end, he wanted to get a divorce from his wife. Period. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. I still didn't expect her to say yes. Because she knew he was going to say no. That's why I didn't expect her to say yes. I'm going to tell you why she said yes. Alright. One, she said yes because she really liked him. Right? She really cared about him. She really, every time anybody asked Michaela about Zach, she said he was a loving guy. He was caring. He took care of me. He was nice. She just couldn't communicate with him. But all the other stuff, she matched up on.
She really, literally cared for him. The problem was that when they got into an argument or they got into had disagreements about things, they didn't know how to handle the disagreement. That comes from both of them never being in long-term relationships. Mm-hmm. Michaela always had butt buddies. Zach had short-term relationships. So when you're never in a long-term relationship, you don't know how to work out those disagreements like adults. And so they didn't know how to work that out. And then go back to her family allowing her to be Hurricane K and thought it was cute and sexy. That's cute when you're a 2-year-old, the terrible twos, right? When you get to about 3, we're going to break that belt out, or whichever way y'all discipline. Sorry, I use belts in my house. I used to use belts. My kids are teenagers now, so we don't do that stuff. But again...
not all of them, but the little one don't. She don't really require that.
Nah, she don't require that. Daddy just raised his voice and she... Anyway, but then no one fixed that when she was little. And so now they let it go on, and now when she's an adult, she can try to fix it, and I think she has worked on it. You know? But in this relationship, she was explosive. Mm-hmm. She cussed him from top to bottom. She was left. She has daddy issues, abandonment issues, but Zach was always there for her. And that's why she really cared for him and liked him, because, again, it was good. And maybe he put it down in the bedroom. Maybe. I don't know.
So next we catch up with the couples the day after decision day. And we see Bao saying, you know, the one thing that she's going to miss is basically the view that they have in their apartment. Yeah. And sitting out on the balcony having coffee out there with Johnny. She's going to miss that. Michaela says, you know, decision day was very interesting. She's kind of in a marriage purgatory. You know, she says she's willing to be willing and open to see what the future looks like, but it's like, I don't know. We see Mirla and Gil out walking Hype, and we know that she's warmed up to Hype because she was like not feeling dogs, and especially not Hype because he slobbered and everything.
Dogs are bald-headed, man.
And she says, you know, she likes getting all dolled up to go out for their casual walks, and Gil's like, no, didn't get all dolled up. Stop, tell the truth. But anyway, then we see all the couples meet up at the bar. I think this one I feel like they were at before. They went to this when Johnny went to the bathroom.
When Johnny went to the bathroom.
And had this little breakdown. Yeah. But Johnny says, you know, I would love to hear all about Rachel and Jose's decision day. And quick and easy, you know, she said, I said yes, because I needed a ride back. And he was there. I said yes. And you know, he was like, yeah, I didn't have anything better to do either, so I just went ahead and say yes. But you know, he laughed it off. And they asked Rachel and Jose, you know, when are you gonna change your last names? And Jose was like, we're not changing no last names. We just changed our name, period. We go by Rose now. Call us Rose.
He's crazy.
A mess. Brett asked Mirla and Gil, you know, what did y'all decide to do? And Gil was like, you know, it's a tax break to stay married, so yeah, that's what I did. And they both were like, we say yes. And so here go Big Mouth. Nobody asked you this. He said, yeah, and just so you know, we consummated the marriage.
He was like, they're going to see it on TV anyway, so we might go ahead and let y'all know.
Michaela was like, oh! Everybody was like, oh, wow, okay, well, that's good.
But really, I mean...
Because they really came full circle.
Right, it's seen the progression of Mirla, because she didn't even want to kiss him on wedding day on the lips. From not wanting to kiss him on wedding day to actually giving him some or consummating the marriage by the end, it was good. And it was like, high five. High five. High five.
High five. I was like, oh, wow.
So, and for her not to complain, it must really be good, because she didn't complain. Because he said he got kind of more than once.
She don't seem like the type of person that would complain out loud about that. She seemed pretty private.
She complained about everything else out loud.
Yeah. And I don't think she would have complained about that. But anyway, so Brett says, you know, we both said no. You know, Ryan said it was disappointing for him that he said no, but I don't have any regrets, you know. And the disappointment is that his thing was, I really wanted to be married. I really wanted this to be it, and it just didn't turn out that way. So I'm disappointed in that. And and then I had to say no. He said, but I don't have any regrets. You should have a regret because you didn't try. You didn't try.
You didn't try.
Hey. You didn't try to get past the red hair, and it's beautiful on her. She's so pretty. I feel like he scraggly, blonde-haired girls with fake boobs, and you can see their rib cage and their spinal column. Like, ew.
What season? I think it was Kate from Philadelphia where she brought a wig, and she put it on a wig. Right? I think that was one of their assignments, to put on a wig to look different. He could have did that. He could have did that for Brett. I'm kind of
but in the end, I'm still a redhead, and I'm not getting ready to dye my hair.
No,
not that color.
I'm just
because she obviously dyed.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm not sad about this season, that I don't get Brett and Ryan mixed up. I don't try to call Ryan Brett and Brett. I just don't get those two mixed up. Hey, before we leave, let us know in the chat. What was your thoughts of this season? We're not finished, but I just want to throw that question out there in the comment section or in the chat. If you watch this live, just let us know what you thought about this season of Married at First Sight.
So real quick, I feel like it's just gone downhill. The last few seasons have just gone downhill. We've had some glimmers of hope. Like I said, Amani and Woody, Karen and Miles, Brianna and Vincent, the one that just went past, but it's been so disappointing.
Amelia and Bennett, let's not forget them.
But they're not together, so I'm upset about that because I feel like I would love to know what happened with that for real.
But they were together on decision day.
Yeah.
They finished.
Yeah.
They finished. So whatever happened after that, that's not the show. That's them.
Yeah. So Michaela shares that she said, I want to stay married, and I don't know if y'all noticed this, but to me, Zach just looks so out of it. He just looks so stressed and not present. He kept rubbing his head. He said decision day was the worst day of the whole 8 weeks for him. He said I still intend to get to know her and hang out no matter what our decision was, but he just looked like he did not want to be there. He didn't want to answer any questions. He just didn't. He looked like when they were at the couples retreat, and he kept looking over the table at her after she talked about how petty she was.
He was there just so he doesn't get fined. He's already checked out. He was done. I mean, he was there so he doesn't get fined. Zach didn't want to be around. He didn't want to be around there. We don't even know if him and Michaela had conversations before getting there, and she could have dug into him like, "No, I'm not going to do this thing with you," But he didn't want to be there. He was ready to go. He was ready. He was done. He was ready to go. I think this season of Married at First Sight was okay. Not the best. Not the best. Not the worst by far. Not the worst, but they can do better.
Yeah.
They need to do better.
Gil puts it in perspective. He says to Zach, what if she completely cuts you off after this? And Zach was like, I'll just have to respect it. And, she kind of rolls her eyes. And what she said was, I come to the conclusion, our relationship is our relationship. How we work it is how we work it. We've had beautiful moments, and he does need to get away from this kind of situation for them to flourish, and I respect that. And once I came down off of my what the heck are you talking about? She could put in perspective. It was like, okay, so that's what he needs for his mental well-being. It don't make sense. It just got to make sense to him. It don't make sense to nobody else. But anyway, so Brett says, yeah, girl, whatever makes you happy, you do that. It don't matter if we all confused and got whiplash and don't know what the H is going on. Who cares? She being facetious, being sarcastic. I thought that was funny. That's Brett. How could you not like that, Ryan? You suck.
Brett was down to earth. He just didn't see her. He looked past her. I go back to the airplane ride they had, and when she spazzed out, and she couldn't get herself together. He checked out then as well. When she didn't want to deal with the manatee, he checked out then. He wants somebody who's adventurous. So again, he didn't like her.
Last but not least, Johnny says, I went into decision day with a no on my mind, but stepping into that room, everything over the last 8 weeks started swimming in his head, and so he started to rethink his decision and talking it out with the experts. He says, I figured, what's the harm in saying yes? I'm gonna just go ahead and say yes. And Bao was like, I came to decision day, I was sure. I had gone over it, lots of times, had lots of reflection, to think about it. And she said, we had a lot of good times, but I chose divorce because she said, I felt like she really couldn't stay in that kind of marriage.
Yeah,
she's right.
Right, but if you break down what Johnny said he was saying yes just because, but let's do it for the heck of it. I mean, what he said was, let's take a shot, let's roll a die, let's do it just for the heck of it. He didn't really want to say committed to Bao. It was just for the sake of, let's say, see if this thing will work without the cameras.
Yeah.
He had no rhyme, no reason, no passion to stay married to that young lady.
Yeah. Gil asked, so after you heard Johnny say yes, did you hesitate at all? She was like, no, it was too late at that point. It doesn't matter to me what he said. It was too late.
She had already checked out.
Yeah, Ryan said he was really surprised that they didn't work out because they matched up so well on paper. Y'all did. You and Ryan did too.
Damn.
But they seemed like such a good match in so many different areas. He was surprised it didn't work out. But again, they had the same problem as you, Ryan. Why are you surprised? Johnny said Bao wasn't really his type when it came to, the attraction and stuff. It was the same thing.
Yeah, it was the same thing. And I think, Ryan and Johnny, we saw spend a lot of time with each other and talk to each other a lot. And so we saw that Johnny and Ryan both had the same issue. Johnny was insecure. Ryan was kind of insecure a little bit. They didn't know how to handle their feelings and emotions. And they were just going through the motions just to get the paycheck. And they didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Johnny did sleep with Bao several times. He liked sleeping with Bao where he had basic, I don't even want to call it wasn't Caucasian. What do you say?
Pretty vanilla.
Yeah, pretty vanilla sex with her. And she wanted to spice more things up. They talked about the painting they did one time. And Johnny was just there he wanted to check out since week one. And, he was happy that it was Bao. They got to know each other. But after the honeymoon, he was done. He kept trying, but he was done. Same thing with Ryan. I think initially when you get in this relationship with Married at First Sight, after the honeymoon, or at least after the first week of being back at home, if you're going to stay with this person or not. I think at that point. Even with all the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, that this may not be the person for me. And we could see it all. It was written all over Johnny's face. He didn't have to say a word.
Yeah.
And I can't sing. I was singing that, but not gonna do that.
Yeah, please don't. But so that season is finally over.
No, it's not.
The season is the reunion is not. Technically, the season is over. So now we in the playoffs. The reunion will be like the playoffs. So the regular season is over.
Oh, got you.
I know you understand that, Coach.
I understand that. Yes, I understand that.
Understand that, Coach. So we'll see. The reunion look like it's gonna have a lot of surprises.
And it's a 2-part reunion, y'all. If you have not figured
that
out,
means it's definitely full of surprises.
So it's 2-part reunion, and we still have 3 more weeks of at least Married at First Sight stuff. You have reunion part 1. You have reunion part 2, and then you have a Where Are They Now? And before the Where Are They Now, we might talk about Bao and Zach's relationship. We may even talk about Brett and her dipping out to 2 o'clock in the morning. If you watch if you watch Unfiltered, Ryan alluded to the fact that Brett will be staying out till 2 o'clock in the morning. And it may have been before the app situation. Possibly. So if it was before the app situation, why she mad? Have you seen somebody on the side? If you dipping and tipping, what's the difference for him? Allegedly? I'm gonna say allegedly. All right, allegedly. What's wrong with him going on a date nap if you tipping and dipping? Just out there.
Nothing. But anyway, so that's it. I know I'm excited to see the reunion too. I just feel like I'm just gonna be let down.
Y'all just want to see Gil with the beard.
No, I don't want to see him with the beard. Even though I'm sure I'll like that a whole lot better, because sometimes his hair follicles, them pores. I was like, oh, poor Gil.
I just hope Kevin Frazier asked the right questions.
We'll see.
The question that we want to hear. That's it. We just ask the right questions.
We'll see. We will see.
Yeah. Hey, but before you go, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Make sure you share this with somebody else. Make sure you give us, as my daughter will say, a big thumbs up. And once again, thank each and every one of y'all for supporting us in the chat. Thank y'all very much. Thank you for watching us each and every week. And we appreciate you. And we'll be back with more videos. If you watch Ready to Love, check out our Ready to Love videos as well.
Yep. Thank you. Bye, y'all.